It's time to paddle your catto. Hello, everybody. That's them.
It's
Uh,
me.
Welcome to the latest episode of the Without Context podcast. I am Deca, as always, joined with SharkyHat, and we have a guest today. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Catto.
I'm Catto. I'm a self-produced VTuber, and I do too much to be put in one sentence. That's
enough.
it. That's good.
Fair enough.
That's true. I've been around them when they are working. It is a lot. Um, we brought them on today because we wanted to talk about VTubing, and the funny part about this is when I originally reached out to them, like for the week after, there was like my trends on Twitter were like lewd tuber, and then like thighs started trending, and I looked, I was like, why are thighs trending? And it's like a bunch of fucking VTubers.
Okay, I'm not a part of that one. Not this time. But I'm sorry that I cursed your Twitter timeline.
It's weird because it's like I follow friends that do VTubing, so I get like the weird like auxiliary like stuff whenever they retweet stuff.
Mhm.
And one of the Destiny streamers that I had followed for a while had switched over to VTubing, and everything on my timeline for like a day was like their collab with somebody else. They were trying to get like a group of like 300 like VTubers together to try to break like the world record for most on like a stream.
Oh, well, yeah. I think I saw something about
was
that
like-
actually.
yeah, it was like- last week or like the week before.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I get all the like runoff. Plus I also follow Gura, so
Yeah.
It was great.
yeah.
What I really wanted to like talk about here is because I remember when Catto was I don't remember what they call it when you're not face cam streamer.
Yeah. When I was
I
a
remember-
flesh tuber.
Flesh.
I hate that.
I'm gonna
When I was
that's
a
gonna be the
heaping
next
sack of meat.
That's the next tab on my live stream. Just the world's greatest flesh tuber.
That's actually at first it wasn't like that popular to say it, but then it kind of got coined, and now everyone kind of just says flesh tuber. And
I hate it. It sounds like you're like making a sausage, you know, with the you
God.
put it in the machine and it comes out of the other end.
what kind of sausages are you eating?
That's literally how you make sausage.
Yeah, it's like a weird like it's like a weird like edible like skin, but it like packs like the machine like you like grind up like meat and it'll like fill like it'll fill like a sleeve, and then you can like cook it and it'll make the sausage. It's a weird process.
You know,
It's
you're not doing a very good job proving to me that you're not the lewd tuber here. And all the word you are saying some words.
this is why the phrase about the sausage being made, like where you don't actually want to know how the sausage is made. That's why that phrase exists, because it's honestly very grotesque to watch a sausage casing be come out.
Yeah. But let's go on with I guess some general questions for Catto.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing the VTubing thing?
I wasn't even supposed to be a VTuber. It wasn't supposed to be this way.
It started at some point though, you making the avatar and everything. So
yeah, oh god, years are horrible for me.
Was it during or before like the pandemic and everything?
Oh god, here, let me see when Hololive EN debuted, because
oh god,
it was like December-ish.
Because
I debuted around December with my first model. It wasn't 2020, I think.
Okay, so yeah,
During the pandemic.
Yeah,
about 2 years coming up, I think.
Yeah, because I noticed a like large influx of streamers or content creators like switching to VTubing during the pandemic with all the free time that people had. People probably see it as more of a way to be comfortable doing it without showing like who you are. It's a level of I guess comfort, like anonymity.
Yeah, it also kind of blew up around that time.
Yes.
Because VTubers have been extremely popular for a really long time, even before now. like I've known about VTubers since like 2019, I want to say, when I play a lot of gacha games. So unfortunately, I was addicted to a game called like Azure Lane, and that's how I found out about Hololive from their Hololive collaboration. And yeah,
So what you're saying is, like most of us, you are a broke VTuber playing
yeah,
gacha
that's why I did
games.
everything myself.
Yep. I remember watching their process because they would get on like voice chat or whatever and
Mhm,
just be like,
mhm.
"Hey, look at the latest thing I've worked on," and it's just their model like floating on a beach.
Yeah, there's like different backgrounds you can choose whenever you're in VTube Studio, but this my background is my room.
It's like your actual room.
Um, yeah, it's my VTuber room.
Okay,
Yeah,
VTuber. I was
That's
like,
definitely my
that's
room.
how their
'cause-
room looks like in real life.
yeah, because
These
I
are
was
my
saying like
pixels.
if this was just like a still image of like your actual room, I was going to ask where can I get the T model Celebi. So,
Um,
but sent this static
yeah,
image. I was like,
he's
okay,
just
I guess
sitting
I
there
robbed of that.
menacingly.
He's asserting dominance. He's just
Mhm.
Me looking at the background, like, yeah, I love it.
I secretly animated rain in the window.
I noticed that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then it'll change color too. Actually, sorry, I will go on about things because that's like the
That's
only
kind of why we
thing.
have you here.
Yeah.
Uh, as a broke VTuber, when you commission like one of the few like nice things, you kind of like get hooked on it, and you're like, "Yes, this is mine. This is my boy. This is my lad. My everything."
I guess this is something that I've always been curious about.
Hmm.
Because I notice it on a lot of like VTubers like Twitter bios. They have a person who does the actual rigging. Like
Hmm.
these models are, I would guess you would call like they are kind of like a pseudo 3D model in a way.
No,
Okay.
no.
Or is it just a,
So every model, whether it's 2D or 3D, usually 3D models are just one single artist. But usually for like live 2D, which is what most 2D flat images are going to be made of most two people. There's a papa and a mama, and I, so there's an artist who draws and prepares, presents the art and cuts it because every single thing that you see is an individual
oh, it's layered.
layer. Yeah.
Okay,
So
I'm
it's
noticing that now. Yeah, it's
mhm. I believe Live 2D cubism kind of counts as a type of animation called puppeteering.
okay.
So the way VTubing works, I like to explain it to normal people as think
Explain
of
it
it as
to
a super
somebody. Yeah, explain it
fancy
to who has never done it.
custom advanced Snapchat filter.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
everything reacts off of like your actual facial movements. So you don't have to move your arms or your body around. You can literally move your head and then it moves everything else.
And
Mhm.
I guess there's like a depending on the effort, there's probably like a range of stuff that you can do because I'm looking at your model compared to
Mhm.
like other VTuber models that I've seen that have a lot less like articulation in a lot of ways. And then I'm thinking of like Girl DM who I've watched videos of who can like the face has so much like just animation to it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I guess that's just the amount of effort that somebody can or should like put into. Because I think Girl DM and Shy Lily are two that I've seen that have like just a huge range of just animations on like the face and everything.
Mhm. I believe Girl DM's Live 2D model was created with like Iron Vertex, which is a rig guild, and like they're a guild that helps create VTuber models. So they basically get people like artists from Japan, overseas, Korea, anywhere, and their group of artists and translators and rig artists all do the process for you and make it pretty streamlined. But it's like top quality, top dollar. It can cost you the price of a used car off of Craigslist.
Jeez.
V-
rigging is rigging feels like it's taking a it's not
I'm in the wrong
just
industry.
getting a lot of Yeah, no shit. It's not just like the individual pieces of art. You also have to bring them together and have them move
Yeah.
around.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of work. So it's definitely worth the money. And you've actually commissioned, or you've been commissioned by one of our friends. So you have experience accepting commissions from and not just doing your rig, but doing somebody else's rig.
Yeah, I'm a VTuber parent, god creator. I don't know. I do both the art and rig for people sometimes, though I think going forward I'm moving just to art for others. Public stuff, I'm only doing art.
So
It's just
so
rigging.
the
Yeah.
community itself feels like it's just like people just like getting it, like just VTubing is like it's just like a chain of like helping. Like you got your rig done by somebody, now you're
Myself.
doing somebody. Oh, you got it done by yourself?
Yeah, I did it myself.
Oh,
I did
No,
my
they
art
did
and
that
my rig,
completely by
everything.
themselves.
Yeah.
nice. But
They
I'm
are
noticing like there's a
100% self-produced.
So my model, I'm gonna pat myself on the back here. I basically, when I said it wasn't supposed to become a VTuber, I was a face cam streamer who was going to be going to, because I was on hiatus during this time. I was recovering from being really sick. Um, I decided, wow, VTubing's popping off. I'm gonna learn how to make models so I can become an art streamer, and then people will come to me for this. And yeah, instead I accidentally fell in love with it, and now here I am as a VTuber.
you're like
Or 2 years later.
Yeah.
you accidentally yourself into VTubing.
Yeah, I was
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh, it'll be fine."
The model,
That person I just put in chat is the other person that they not that art, but like the model, how it
I
looks.
I did the concept art, so, like, I designed him, and then I could actually pull up his model right now. I'm a terrible parent, I impersonate my children. This was my first male model, though, so, it's not my best work. I really need to update him. He my boy deserves the best.
dog boy.
Mhm.
Oh boy, he's a pilot.
Yeah,
He's a
he's a little Gundam pilot.
also noticed that about a lot of VTubers. It's definitely like a way for you to embrace like a fantasy in a lot
Yeah.
of ways too. Like I haven't seen just like my VTuber is just like the tired GameStop employee. It's like it's always the VTubers are like the HoloLive is like, hey, this class of HoloLive is like mythical things like, you know, the Phoenix or the Grim Reaper, and then this class of HoloLive is like Crony and all this other stuff.
Mhm.
And it's just like maybe that should be the side of VTubing we should get to, just the real life roleplay VTubing, where my VTuber is just the tired GameStop employee at the end of the day.
Well, so this is like the biggest misconception, I guess, when it comes to VTubing,
Sure.
is that it's already oversaturated and overexploited. So there's already a
Yeah.
VTuber for that.
Probably.
Like, there's a VTuber for everything, and there's a not big divide, but the indie community versus like the corporate community, because they interact a lot of people, but also people don't even realize that there's an indie scene and then there's a corporate scene. People don't, there's a lot that is
Yeah,
not understood.
no, I've noticed those like terms thrown around too. Like I'm guessing like the
Mhm,
corporate side is like the people who are part of a company like HoloLive
mhm,
or
mhm.
any other like group that does that. And then the indie one are probably just more of the, you know, like me or Deca just doing it as like, you know, a channel or something.
Funsies. Yeah. Don't forget, Kellogg's is also doing one because Tony the Tiger has
I do not
goddamn
want to talk
VTuber.
about
Mhm.
Tony the Tiger's VTuber.
Netflix had a VTuber, Tony the
did?
Tiger's a VTuber, Sonic is a VTuber. Yeah, brands
Sonic
are
can get away
hopping
with
on
it
it.
though. Sonic
Yeah.
can get away with it. Tony the Tiger, not so much.
I want a Kool-Aid Man VTuber.
Oh man. I know what I'm signing up to make.
So I actually getting into that. How do you feel about like not just like these companies that are literally corporations of VTubers, but like non-endemic companies like Kellogg's or whoever else getting into the scene?
Yeah, not like the specialty not the specialty companies, but more of just like the mainstream.
Mhm.
Um, you know, I don't. really know entirely how I feel about it. I have a pretty negative outlook on Western uh creations,
You should.
unfortunately.
We suck.
So
So,
I I I mean, I think corporations around everywhere kind of suck, unfortunately. But I just don't tend to align with Western interests for the most part. So when I see like Tony the Tiger VTuber, I'm just like, oh, hey, you're jumping on the train without even understanding.
yeah.
All right. But then I see like Netflix Japan having a VTuber and it's like decently designed, like it looks good, even though I don't know what happened to it. That's I still remember that. I remember it more than Tony the Tiger, but unfortunately, I remember Tony.
And I guess continuing off of the early part of the question, like this corporate VTuber compared to like indie VTuber.
Mm.
I mean, you're always going to get the people who are just open to everything. It's like, hey, if they're doing it, that's fine. As long as people are, not. I guess in terms of this, it's like if you're not putting the style into like a bad look just by your personality or something, or being like a shitty person, I can't help but think like maybe is there kind of like a weird divide at times? Like if somebody in a corporate VTubing position like looks at like indie ones.
Um, I've seen more. There's always a disdain towards people who go corporate for some
Ah,
reason. Like everyone usually is really positive, really excited, but I've noticed there's a lot of disdain towards corporate VTubers, mainly because of the Japanese like idol um industry being injected straight into VTubing and it kind of forcefully being pushed across other corporations because branding, brand risk, brand safety, all that sort of stuff.
yeah.
Um, Indie VTubers kind of just go off the wall, do whatever, and there's definitely a divide. There's a lot of divides in the community. There's a whole lot of. Am I allowed to cuss?
Sure. I mean,
There's a whole lot of shit.
Yeah.
I marked these episodes on the Spotify one as explicit content. So it's
There's a whole lot of shit, honestly. And
I can see that. I can see like indie ones. Like if me and Deca are two like indie VTubers, and a big announcement comes from Deca where he's gone corporate, I can just be like, I can understand myself being like, man, you sold out. Like you're gonna start following like rules. You're gonna start not being you. Like you're gonna have
mhm.
guidelines to follow at this point.
I'm gonna get paid 6 figures to do it, so
Yeah, well,
you know.
And that's the thing, most corporate VTubers were not they're well, hmm,
Is there a
hmm.
lot? I guess is there a lot of money? Like,
Do you want to go down the corporate? Do you want me to do the corporate VTuber explanation thing? Because
we're
there's not a
we're
lot of people
we're
who've
20
gone.
minutes into an hour episode. I think we have time.
Okay, all right. So,
Yeah.
um, most corporate VTubers are previous VTubers or really established creators beforehand. Um, VTuber corporations, like any corp, is looking for a pre-established creator who they can reliably look to make content on. Someone who already is self-motivated, already doing stuff. So when I see all these new baby indie VTubers who have never made content before getting really, really upset over corporate VTubers, I'm just like, honey, they've they've worked for this. It's
Trained for
okay.
this.
You're on your own journey now. You're starting too. But
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong entirely with like all the rules and stuff. It's just
It's always personal choice. Like
yeah. Mhm.
they choose to do that. I mean, whether it be for a financial, reason, or just, for a more like wider appeal, like they're going to choose to take that option.
I mean, you also nowadays you can look at all the like VTuber branches of like the English VTuber branches. They're huge now. Like
Yeah.
I know Hololive has boys now, which I we can get into later. But I'm very familiar with Niji Sanji, Ian. That's another VTuber company that has way more VTubers than expected right now. But they're huge. So a lot of people sometimes look at these corporations and they want to join like a family that they see these VTubers that they already like vibe with, or like they enjoy like their company, and they feel like they could already like be friends with them. So that's why they would want to join a company rather than just go off on your own.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine jumping into the ocean on your own or going in a boat with a bunch of people you already know.
Yeah. I guess kind of going back to something you mentioned earlier and something that was just brought up, the family concept. I've noticed that on other things where it's like VTubers like will adopt other VTubers. Is that just more, I guess is that something that like
It goes back to the rigging and the artist. So some people will be like, "This is my sister," and it's because you had like the same model parents.
and
So
what
like
does
the same
that mean? Like,
So the same person who like drew their art, like the
okay.
model's art, and then also rigged their model. So going back to what I said earlier, like a rig person, the person who like makes it move, is usually called like the papa, and then the artist is usually called the mama. So some people will go to like the same people if they like their work, and then they will be like sisters or brothers or whatever.
I didn't expect to get into VTubing genetics, but here we are.
It's the
Well, if you
VTuber family tree.
so consider this, the model
spider web.
the model that they showed a moment ago, they did you said you did the rigging and the art for that, right?
Yeah, I do.
So
I do all of it.
produced asexually.
Yeah, it's just like
Yes.
created by mitosis.
Wait, my
Is that
toes, sis?
mitosis?
Yes.
Is that the
You
splitting
you
of
want
cell?
you guys? No, you guys. My toes, sis? You want my toes?
God.
I'm so sorry. I
This is the content you sign up
This-
for when you watch their
This is
stream.
on brand for the on brand for the podcast too, so it's fine.
Yeah, no, the podcast is called Without Context, so you know.
Yeah. It's somebody's like, what do you guys talk about on your podcast?
Toast.
I just give them the shrug
VTuber
emoji. It's
toast.
just like whatever comes up that week, I suppose. Like,
I came to you last week after like midway through the episode we were recording that day. And that's maybe the most planning we've had for a podcast episode since like in like 3 weeks to a month.
It's been a really
sick.
just off the cusp like last 4 weeks of this show. Like,
Isn't that the best when you without context?
I personally love those episodes, but it's also really hard to do that on demand.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. Like, so it's this idea of like two different people like creating the VTuber model is a pretty interesting way to look at it.
It's two very different disciplines, right? Because there's the
two.
artwork, and then there's like the rigging,
motion.
and they're very different. The motion, yeah.
It's two huge mountains of work. That's why it's split up across two people, because it's like the same skill set but not. It's the same but similar and not the same at all. And trying to do both, it's a very
programming.
unhinged
It's
person.
programming.
Yeah.
It takes a very unhinged person.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that makes sense. You just have to also commission just two people to do so. So it's
yeah.
I can imagine I imagine like the creation is like the down payment on everything to come afterwards.
Some people like that's why even with me, I'm very particular when I am going to be doing commissions and stuff. I'm gonna have like an application process. I'm gonna have to like make sure that people know what they're getting into. And I'm probably only going to work with like pre-established people who have been streaming, because I don't want to make someone pay that much money for something that they may not even like. That's like the biggest issue that I see with VTubing, is that people drop like 2K and then they don't even like streaming.
Yeah.
It's like, huh?
Yeah, it's like I'm like at that point, man, just like buy Probably Warhammer 40k models or something if you're gonna drop that much money.
Honestly.
Like, it's fine if you want a VTuber model and you want it, but like it's just it's a lot of money that not everyone has, and like, why do you want to spend that money that you may not have on something you may not like?
Yeah. Me looking
it
at anything I buy. Like, why am I gonna spend this much money? Grab it off the shelf.
I want it. It would make my brain chemical go.
I walked into my comic store to buy Spelljammer. It was the same comic store I walked in a few weeks ago and saw a Sushi Meowchi and was like, I didn't need it. It wasn't a payday week. I just bought it. It's like,
listen. You have a nice union job. You deserve to get something every now and again.
yeah,
Let's go unionization!
I'm still paying off like credit cards and shit though, so it's like I'm still
Socialist
practically
Catto.
living. I'm still very much living like paycheck to paycheck right now.
Sure.
But it's fine. It'll pass. Luckily, my car repair today was only $600, and I was like, "Oh, thank God," because that was a transmission issue, and that could have been way worse.
Yeah. New transmission or new VTuber art.
That's pretty much it. It's like, hey, we're gonna have to replace the transmission. If the guy had called me and said, "We need to replace your transmission," I would have just told him, "I'll be there to get the key later today." And pay you guys for checking it out, because at that point I might as well just buy a new car. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've been asking most of the questions here. Do you have anything to ask Deca?
Yeah, of course. It's one of my favorite people in the entire world.
Oh, you're one of my favorite people in the entire world.
Bro, that's gay.
And
I didn't say it was wrong. So I've watched your process of starting as a flesh tuber and becoming the VTuber, and then making this isn't even your first model. This is like what, your third at this point?
this was my second model I ever made.
It's a very very steep improvement.
Yeah, low.
It's a very steep
like
improvement
that.
curve. It's like, it's not even a curve, it's a line.
I can show you my very first model I ever made. It's
Remember that
not
one?
good. It's not good at all. So this one was made in June of 2022.
So a few months ago.
Not 2022. No, 2020. I'm sorry. I don't know how to do.
So 2 years.
Yes, this was my very first model I ever made.
Nice.
So, this is what I had before I was before the previous model, and then about 8 months later, I was like, I'm gonna do new art because my art's improved, and I'm gonna have this one come out. So, this model is this one is officially a year old now. As
The
of
other
this month.
That other one, I definitely had like more of just like a cat like face. Did it? Was I seeing that right? Or was it just?
It was
the
just old
shading?
art.
Yeah.
It was just old art.
Okay.
Yeah, but this one also has like way more bits of articulation than the other one did.
Like, I can wave. I have different outfits as well. I can also grab my face on here as well. I can do a lot. I wanted a lot of fancy stuff with this because back in the day, there weren't a lot of models that did what this model did at the time. I was kind of not the founder of the face cupping stuff going on, but I'm one of the first models to
You're on that first
have
wave.
it on the indie scene. Yeah.
You were one of the first ones to do it, but you yourself produced it instead of like, having a team or whatnot.
Well, there also just weren't many VTuber models that like grabbed their face or anything, or
fair.
had like 3 to 4 outfits baked into one model. Which like that's now a lot more common now that we have like a lot more cracked artists and rigs. But yeah, back in the day, over a year ago, my model was pretty cracked for what it is. It's really outdated now though.
Well, the
Yeah,
new one,
and you're working on a
the
third
new one's
one now, right?
Yeah.
And
this one's looking great, so I can't wait to see what the next like model is with the articulation and all that.
Thank you. I've also secretly been working on my new chibi model, but we don't talk about that war criminal just yet.
Oh, you showed them off a moment ago, so
No.
Oh no, you showed
I
them off one of your other chibi models.
one of my children.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to see the cat. Can't wait to see the Catto gremlin,
The Catto gremlin.
Oh,
the chibi model.
I remember some of the first VTubing that I saw. Well, before it had a name.
Look at that
Yeah, there
gremlin.
it is.
That
Yeah,
I
look
have
at
a
that.
knife.
No.
No,
Catto, what do you have there? A knife. No.
no.
It's for my
One
war
of
crimes.
It is for you.
one of the one of the first people I saw before I knew what VTubing was. Oh, you're eating now.
I didn't know you brought a war criminal
Borgar.
onto our show.
So did you.
I did.
Was it was somebody who did like it was like the face morph stream. It was like you said earlier, like throwing a very really fancy Snapchat filter on. It was
The
something
face
more
rig.
akin to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were a Shiba Inu the whole time.
Yeah.
I was like, huh, that's super cool. And I think that was like way back in the day. That was
I
like
think I remember seeing that stuff in like
2017,
2017. Yeah,
2018.
2017.
Yeah.
I remember seeing
I
the
think
Shiba rig that
Yeah.
I
people were
think
doing.
PewDiePie popularized it at one point.
It's
I
really
know
cool.
he had one.
It's really cool seeing the evolution of it. Like we get that face rig thing in like 2017, where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I could be a talking Shiba Inu, and then it's like just over the years, like that face rig being used to do like other stuff, and then just like this explosion of like the VTuber industry. I see parallels to like the VTuber, like just the number of VTubers and like just trying to be found in that space. Very comparable to like the gaming like let's play boom of like 2014 or so. Where you have like the big guys start doing it like PewDiePie with Amnesia and Cimentos Ken. And then just like over the next like 7 years, it's just like exponentially like more and more and more people are just making gaming channels and just getting lost in the shuffle.
Because well, I know most kids in America, their dream job is to become a content creator nowadays. So it's become such like a commoditized thing that brands are able to commercialize it. So it's becoming more consumer available. So therefore, we're seeing like an influx of it as it becomes more readily available. And
Ease of
it's
access.
interesting.
Ease of access.
Mhm.
You don't need to. It's money like up front for like, you know, a good rig and a good model, but after that, it's like you can just do whatever with it once you get past that like entry.
Like an investment, right? Like
Yeah.
you're investing in either yourself as Catto did, or you know you're investing in somebody to make this for you to where you can you know do what you'd like.
It a lot of people will go into VTubing and they it, it's like streaming in general. Um People mainly look at it and go into it with a hobby as a hobby, but they want to go into it with a business mindset. However, they don't understand how to do streaming as a business because they've never streamed really before. So I kind of equate it to that still. Um, Usually, if you're looking for an artist to make something for you because you're not, you have a brand image in mind. And that's why you would go to certain artists or spend a certain amount of money. But yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. I've been making content on YouTube for about 9 years. I started like way back in like 2013, back during the big like boom of people starting to do Let's Play channels. And only recently, like in the last few weeks, had finally gotten like affiliate on Twitch. So now it's like, okay,
Let's go.
now I can start trying to focus on streaming as like something to evolve to. It's like the potential to, you know, turn it into, you know, a money making thing while also enjoying it. And it's definitely trying to find that balance of, you know, I want to stream tonight, I want to play, I want to be entertaining. At the same time, it's like I don't want people to start losing like their investment in it. Like if I'm just not going to stream for like 2 or 3 days and then hop back in, like a non-consistent schedule like turns people off.
For some people it does, yeah. I know that VTubers, the thing that actually was really helpful for me was didn't believe in a rotating schedule or anything beforehand. I thought that was too difficult for people to keep up with. That's not true. I saw from corporate VTubers that they make a weekly schedule and they change it like different times, different days, and people still show up. So I started making weekly schedules, and as long as I stick to it, it doesn't matter if I stream like every day. It doesn't matter if I stream only 3 times a week, 2 times. Um, as long as I have that schedule there, people are invested.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend trying that. Maybe that might be good for you, unless you're ADHD like me and you're like, I don't feel it right now.
No, it's just when I had started making content, I was in my early 20s. So I had
all the energy in the world.
I had all the energy in the world. I mean, it led to burnout like 7 years
Yeah.
into it, where it's like, because I was doing the record on Saturday, edit the week's episodes on Sunday, but then some weeks were like, get home, record for 45 minutes, edit the episode, upload it that night, repeat that process 5 days a week. Just because it was like, that's all I had the time to do. And like now I'm working a full-time job, so I kind of set myself for like, 2 hours most nights during the week now, because that's really all the free time that I have. So it's like, of course I'd hit affiliate when I have less time than I've ever had in my lifetime. So it's just trying to I can understand like the scheduling and stuff like that. It's like, maybe not every night for 2 hours, maybe definitely keep it to just weekends kind of thing.
I nothing makes me want to bonk people more than when I see them stream like almost every day. Like, stop. Don't do that. Stop. 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 You
Will
don't need
burn
to be
yourself
live
out.
all the time. Stop it. Stop. That's unhealthy. I will bonk you. I will find you. I'll tell your mom nice things, but I'll bonk you.
Bonk for war crimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it like burnout is like, I think people don't realize that even as a VTuber, you can still burn out. Like, just because you're not showing your real face, you can still
You're still
like
having to
burn
stream. You're
out.
still having to entertain. Like it's
Yeah.
still a mental load to put on yourself, even with a animated face over it.
Mhm.
Think of it this way. Like, when people are watching anime, like, yeah, ooh, pretty picture. But if
Mhm.
they're not talking and there's just like a still image, like a person's just staring at you, it's even worse when it's not an actual person to like see micro expressions on.
Yeah.
You like, as a VTuber, you kind of really have to be going. I call it the XQC trick. It's going every 30 seconds, having something new to say, that just keeps things going.
The conversation keeps moving.
Not even conversation, just anything.
Yeah.
You don't even have to always have a conversation as long as something is happening per 30 seconds.
It's a good thing to keep in mind.
Yeah.
I think that is actually solid advice. Because I've made this joke many times that on the Without Context podcast on the YouTube channel, I have like 6 or 7 Magic Arena drafts that I have just like I've thrown away because it's like, well, not only am I eating shit on this thing, but I'm also not being entertaining.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like, I'm just gonna throw this away. So that's a good thing to keep in mind.
Some days too, like if you're like, it's better just to call things early. Like if you're not feeling it and you're like not feeling your funniest, it's like, hey, sorry, I tried my best today, but for some reason, like I'm just not able to give you what I want to give.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it.
Well,
I'm gonna
it's-
rest up.
I had that
it's
moment
the-
yesterday. I had that moment yesterday. The new Destiny season just dropped, and I was like, we're going to get in. We're going to play through like the first season mission, and we're going to see what it has to offer. And I ran into a bug. It wasn't giving me stuff I should have been getting after doing like in-game stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to like reset the game to get back in to see if it works. But that'll be me running another thing. And I'm just like, I don't feel like I've been entertaining for like the last like 30 minutes when I realized like something was bugged out. So
It's also like
Right.
that. It was like that Devil May Cry stream the other day where you were just.
I don't. I'm just, you're the first one to tell Jack. I don't know if I'm gonna beat that game on stream because going through a walkthrough, apparently I miss a lot of shit. So I missed weapons, I missed like health increases, and I'm like, I'm on the final boss now, severely underpowered,
Oh,
and
that's my life.
it's a 3-phase boss, and
Yeah.
the first phase kicks my ass, and I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish this game. So it's gonna be like Dead Space 3, where it's like too hard, couldn't finish.
Go to the trash.
I tried. The game beat me.
Yeah, you know, it happens. It happens. Don't worry.
It shows
It's
the
just
game showed its age. Like, I can understand it's an important game in like the history of games, and it really brought like the crazy like action game like Bayonetta and itself and Mad World and like all those platinum games. Like, it definitely sparked that kind of game. But boy, does it feel hard to play in the year 2022.
Yeah.
you're talking to a Devil May Cry fan right now. So I
I'm playing the HD collection, and
So you know.
I'm like,
Oh yes, I know.
I am
I
dying more to these camera angle changes than the actual enemies.
Listen, the Devil May Cry games in general are just a pain in the ass as well. Like, they're great, don't get me wrong, but God, are they a pain in the ass.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this game.
Your
So,
best.
hey, you ever finished Devil May Cry? No, I did not. It's like,
Hey, what if it's like Schrodinger's Devil May Cry? What if you never they
if it's not
You can never
uploaded,
touch
did,
it again.
if I remove all the uploads, did I ever finish it? Or
did it ever
did
exist?
did it ever happen?
Brought to
Dick
you
brain.
by Schrodinger's not Catto.
Yeah. I was just saying, it's
Uh,
like, yeah, that's probably the plan. It's just like private all Devil May Cry. It never happened. It's like-
So as we get into like the last little bit here, I want to ask if you had any you know, that one like really annoying question that pro players who play like professional esports titles get, where it's like, you have some general advice for me to climb in the ranks? I'm gonna ask that to you.
Yeah, do you have advice for us to succeed as VTubers if we
Go into it with a brand in mind. Like, even if you want to do this as a hobby, just go into it with yeah. See, thematics. We like
is
things to match up.
This was bought from Hot Topic 12 years ago. I've looked at Hot Topic. They don't sell these anymore. So if something ever happens to this hat, I'm out of luck.
Oh
Get someone to make it
no.
for you. It's fine.
Oh no, your brand's gonna be right then and there. Zip. She's coming for
On.
you. But yeah, I would just say go into things with a brand in mind, even if you're not going to make money out of it right away. If you ever want to, if you don't want to, it's better to go into it and have everything like decently presented ahead of time. Doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have everything at once. You can go completely free. You just want it to look decent. And
I mean,
yeah.
You want the themes to be aligned.
you watch my first video compared to my last like produced video, not a live stream. Back when I was still like a few weeks ago when I did my last like record, edit in Premiere and then upload. Like, you've watched the first video I ever made to that one, there's a huge difference in like presentation style. And
Yeah.
it took about that long to start making money off of that. Like, I've just only now reached a point of Twitch of live streaming where I can start making money from this, and I've been doing it for about 10 years now. So
I've been streaming on Twitch for almost 5 years, and I hit partner
nice.
last November. So
Excellent.
it's a lot of work. It's a lot of luck as well. Like, the algorithm, yeah, she works, but yeah, whoever finds you in the algorithm, that's luck. You don't know whose eyes are going to be on you when you are in the algorithm. So just because you get put in the algorithm doesn't mean
You're gonna
the right
show
people
up.
are seeing it. And
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's an uphill battle for discovery. Like,
it-
I got in right after the initial like explosion of Let's Players. So
mhm.
by the time I got in, hundreds of thousands of others were already getting in as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh shit. Okay.
I
What do I do here? Because do I play the games that the popular people are playing and hope for discovery? Or do I just kind of stick to what I want to do and hope that eventually, the right tags on videos, the right titles, the mechanical side of YouTube will kick in for me.
I feel
mhm.
like you will always get you may get like as a short term if you do what like everyone else is doing, you'll get people.
But
But as for like a long term,
you have to prove that you can be entertaining.
and also as a long
Consistent.
term consistency, I think as a
Consistency.
long term doing what you want to do is going to be healthier for you as a content creator.
Yes.
I know things have changed. The landscape and how people can do things now is completely different. Like, because of the tags being added on Twitch, I can now play like other games, but beforehand, there's certain games that people would go for that it seems like people like these games, but it's mainly just because of like the audience size of people watching it, the streamers that they have to compete with. There's a whole analytical side of Twitch
Yeah.
that I've been studying for the past 4 to 5 years, which that's how you if you want anything in this industry, you need to learn how to follow trends. Find trends, follow them, learn how to incorporate it in your own content and twist it up. Um that's 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 it. That's the sauce. There is no actual sauce.
We saw that during the pandemic when Among Us blew up, where
Yeah.
suddenly like a bunch of different content creators were playing together, but also because
The
of how
collab meta.
the collab meta, but then also because of just how popular the game was, a bunch of smaller channels are starting to rise up
Mhm.
through the top and everything. It was it was just really interesting. The pandemic, like it revealed a lot of interesting like stuff just in terms of content creation because people just had more time.
Yep.
Like you got a
Oh, we
bunch,
started this podcast.
you got a bunch of people to just come into it because they had time to do it now.
More people got into anime. Like you can see the statistics on it like via Netflix. More people actually watched anime during the pandemic than any time before.
They
So basically, people who were scared or embarrassed to watch anime watched it during the pandemic when no one could make fun of them.
how
Watched even
many
less anime.
Fucking weebs.
how many people did that just so they could say I finished One Piece?
Netflix doesn't have One Piece.
Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, that's right. So it's just whatever Netflix has. But I mean,
Yeah.
I think
But
during
hey,
during that time, that was like stuff like the My Hero, Black Clover, like the a lot of popular stuff was going, but that was also because people were just watching them. Things like
it's
Jujutsu Kaisen and all that. Demon Slayer was a big one.
yeah, it's like the different shonen have different ways. I am also a big manga anime person, so that's a whole other issue we can any but yeah, I personally I think the whole anime Netflix thing also added to the VTuber wave.
Oh,
Cause
definitely, it's an obvious influence. Like,
cause if I'm not crazy, I started learning how to make VTuber models before like even Hololive EN debuted. I was like, all right, no, it's gonna blow up. I
I,
started learning right before, like
I,
2 to 3
I
months.
think your timeline, yeah, it was like just like months before HoloLive EN debuted.
Mm-hmm. So
Catto's on that rocket to the moon.
you trends, you gotta know, and if you don't know how, you gotta find someone.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like it's almost like stocks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta find the one that you know is gonna trend, or you have that insider information, or whatever the case may be. Maybe it's an upcoming game that you know is gonna that you
The
think is gonna
insider
be popular.
information stuff is very illegal. So probably not that one. Insider
Tax
trading
evasion is also
tax
illegal,
evasion is
but I'm
also
promoting it.
Stop people.
Yeah, the
Goth
inside
people are illegal? What?
Don't insider trade on the stock market. Insider trade on YouTube. It's fine.
How'd you bring goth
Why
people
wait,
to this?
why
Like,
why are we insider trading goth people? Can I have a goth person?
Is that what the IRAs are? A Goth IRA?
so
Oh
it's a
my
Roth
God.
IRA.
Do you
Roth.
mean I get to have a goth dommy mommy show up at my door and tell me I have to pay my taxes? Oh no, I'd be terrified. Don't do that.
That's one of the weird VTubers I've come across is the like this I forget her name, but like her whole model's in like dominatrix like getup.
Oh, there's a lot.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
one of them
pick
on
one.
Twitter, so I can imagine like yeah, that's probably a thing. So
Again, thighs was trending, and it was all these degenerate ass VTubers.
yeah, I was just about to say that. I'm like, this VTubing really gave people just the ability to just showcase their degeneracy behind a mask.
I
This is-
mean,
It's for the brand. It's not. It's definitely not a fetish that's developing.
My brand.
I like to think of because like I said, not all VTubers care or worry about like brand risk or anything. Some people do it just to be themselves, which is totally fine and totally a-okay.
Yeah.
Ow, ow. I worry about certain places yoinking your accounts and deplatforming you for things.
Yeah.
TikTok's really bad about it, so I'm always scared about what I post anywhere. Because I'm like, what if this is too much? What if people are like, blah, 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 blah. There was a point to what I was saying. It was something. I think VTubing is really, really helpful for people's identities. Like, VTubing in the trans community is
Yes.
so fucking important in just being able to see like people be themselves and identify with themselves and not be limited to the flesh prison that they live in is it's the best.
great.
It's the best.
Liberating.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can definitely see it being a form of just like a personal aid to be more open with yourself in a way.
It's so
And-
cathartic.
Again, because of identity, you can also do it, without revealing who you are, which, prevents the risk of, doxing or
Head naming
people
or any of that.
like from your real life finding you, like that kind of thing. So
Mhm.
it's definitely it's a good safety net for the LGBT community.
It definitely is.
And yeah, anything else, Deca?
I think I'm good here. Do you have anything else? Did you want to share with everybody, Catto?
Yeah,
Uh,
feel free to shout out your socials and all that too. I'll be including them in the video, the description, like I always do. But we'll let Catto promote some stuff for herself if she has any.
Miku said trans rights.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Does she know the running gag on this show?
No, that's a running trend like
Just everywhere?
in our Discord. Yeah.
Yeah, in our Discord. Okay, yeah, it's just the
Our Lord and Savior Miku Hatsune. Well, I'm Miku Katsune now.
yeah, it's just
Hatsune Miku, creator of Minecraft.
yeah. Anytime there's a person who gets canceled, we just slap Hatsune Miku as the creator. Hatsune Miku, the writer of Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah. Very prolific artist.
She does everything.
I can't believe. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to say that.
Aw.
Don't worry. We can get
Fix it in post. It's fine.
But yeah, no. I'm Kat. I like to stream. That's it. I make models. I have a lot of opinions and a lot of info. That's it.
Opinions.
They are legitimately one of the hardest working VTubers I've ever seen in my entire life.
Thank you.
I'm not just saying that because I literally watched them like rig their model, from
Make
fucking
overlays,
scratch.
learn After Effects, learn 3 new programs, learn how to do voice acting, learn how to record, and yeah, it's a lot.
They wear a lot of hats.
I can wear a cowboy hat. Hold on, that's how I want to go out. This is
Hell yeah.
We made that joke last night of I'm gonna get a cowboy hat for my shark hat and stream and just continually stack hats.
yeah, just get more hats. You can never go wrong with more hats. I have a beret and I also have a cowboy hat
But
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
because I'm a little cowboy.
his talk's definitely been good though, because as you brought up with like identity and everything, I had that exact epiphany last night. Is like I told them in the Discord, like I don't know what I want to stream. Like I don't know what I want my channel to be. Do I want to be like just whatever game I feel like playing at the time, or do I want to keep like new games going? Do I want to focus on older games, the games that I never played like growing up? And it's just like I was sitting there and I'm like,
Do it all.
I'm just kind of like going through the motions. So I kind of think I need to figure out like what I like want to do.
you don't have to have a set game or anything. You can
Yeah.
do whatever. Because that's what I did. When I said I was going to be a VTuber, I'm like, all right, I'm no longer just playing League of Legends. I'm going to do whatever I want. So the last big stream that I did,
Yeah,
the
another-
only game I've ever finished on stream was Near Replicant. And I had some of my lower viewership with that,
Yeah.
but it's my favorite little stream memory ever.
So
And
you said you stopped League of Legends. Congrats on being another ex League of Legends player. Or
where did X come from?
oh,
I'm still in a very strong, committed, polyamorous relationship with all the League of Legends ladies. We are
That's fair.
still going strong.
Every time Deca or our friends are like, Sharky, we need a fifth for League of Legends, I'm just like, all right.
They're on OBS.
I'm like, getting
It's
on.
like the
like,
it's the toxic ex-girlfriend.
it's an abusive relationship, but I do it because of these guys. It's just like, hey, we need a fifth for ARAMs, and it's just like begrudging.
it's Abrams.
No, it's just like begrudgingly like launching my
Takes a
Riot
long
clients.
drag out of a cigarette, like
It's like still getting
Something
in,
to take the edge off.
just still getting into this bullshit.
Yeah.
yeah, that's been our talk with Catto.
Yeah, it's been a very good episode. It's been a very great
Mhm.
guest.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm sorry I go
I've
off
learned-
on tangents.
No, I've learned a lot today.
Literally
I didn't
what we
know.
brought you on for.
See, I knew the concept of VTubing, but like learning a lot of the inner stuff about it was actually very interesting to hear about. Like the rigging being its own thing, the model being its own thing, how they overlap, and just the ideas of like, you know, the corporate and the indie. It's like it's very deep like subject. So it was cool hearing a lot about it.
Mm-hmm. There's hopefully in the future I can talk about more. One day I will have a bit more preparation and smartness and eloquency in wordage in English, so I can make words smart and do comprehension.
No, before we
Yes,
started
we'll
the
speak to that.
no, like I said, before we started recording today, I was like, your name's going on the list of guests that we might reach out to if we need a guest to hop onto the show. So
Yeah.
because there's
If you
supposed to
ever
be
need me.
there's supposed to be 5 of us. And then it went down to 3, and then Haley got a job. So now it's me and Deca trying to piece this podcast together each week.
The other co-hosts, God bless them, they're just the adultiest adults out of the 5 of us originally.
Mhm.
2 of them have like very nice salaried jobs. The other one's just coming out of a job and is going into his own thing. And we're just the only 2 left that are just like, yeah,
And
sure. I
Mr.
got one.
Sharky's unionized.
I have a
Yeah.
set. It's good. It's easy for me. I have a set work schedule, so I know
Yeah.
that after this time of the day, I'm guaranteed to be free to do stuff. So
Mhm.
it's nice. It's but it is all of us being adults again, and like the time itself is just the biggest factor for a lot of this. But having guests is always great on the show. So
If this was 10 years ago, we'd all be like, yeah, sure. Wednesday at 5, I ain't doing shit.
yeah, it's just like, who's on? Hey, you, and you. Do you want to get on the podcast?
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
Just like pull out of a hat. Yeah, that's been our episode on VTubing, and we kind of got a little bit into content creation there, which is, I mean, there's
They
a
go
lot of
hand-
that in
they-
VTubing, of course.
they go hand in hand. You know.
Yeah. If you want to listen to more of us ramble, you can press the subscribe button down there, or like this video, share it with a friend. You can also watch our backlog of stuff. Also, the latest episode of Call of Netherdeep should be live at this point. Session 6.
The Baz
and
I believe
yes.
that should be live.
Yeah. And you'll see the next one on the next one is going to be one of my personal favorites because I managed to terrify somebody in the middle of the session. I'm not saying who it is. I'm just saying it was really great in the moment. And that one should be up next Monday. And if you like I said, if you like what you see here, hit the sub button, like, share it with a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend, and yeah,
Tell your friend to tell your friend's mom.
And all of
Hey.
and when I get links from Catto, links to her stuff will be down in the description as well. So feel free to follow them, subscribe to them, all that other stuff too.
Yeah. I guarantee you, if you thought they were entertaining on this episode, they're infinitely more entertaining on their live stream. You will not regret that decision.
Thank you. I'll kick you into the Sparta hole. And instead of
Hell
screaming
yeah.
Sparta, I'll scream toes.
And
Sorry.
with that, that's the Without Context podcast. Bye, everybody.
Toes.
Bye, everybody.